Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much today for joining us on the webinar, which is for Dubai Real Estate Knowledge Scene Series 6. The webinar will last around half an hour, and I will take you through it. I will introduce myself first and then my guest presenter today. My name is Paul Jibara. I'm the Director of Marketing and Business Development at Realopedia, and I am the host and the MC for today. The first session will be very much a little bit on Realopedia itself, and then the second session I'm very, very pleased that we are joined by JLL, Asma herself, who's a marketing research manager, joining us today, and she will take you through a very, very interesting topic about the Dubai real estate market report that they've just issued in the last few days, correct? And Q1 this year. Okay, some rules and regulations. If you have a question that you would like to ask them, either raise your hand or the best thing is to type it and we will address those as the questions come in. So we can see the questions that come in and then we can address those as and when. So earlier on, one of the people asked whether the webinar has started already. No, we're just starting it now. We did respond earlier, but we're just giving it as an example now. Okay, so as I said, the topics will be about Realopedia and our Knowledge Hub, and then the second topic will be by Asma, and she will be looking at the Dubai market, the outlook for it. Okay, so what is Realopedia? Okay, the background of Realopedia. Realopedia basically started a few years ago. The visionaries for Realopedia, we recognized that agents and professionals lacked around the world. They lacked the technology and the knowledge to be able to connect and participate on a global basis. Okay, the global real estate market is the second biggest employer in the world, and agents around the world don't necessarily connect with each other. They tend to be very much focused on just the local area that they are in. So they were missing a lot of global connectivity. So being able to connect between the UAE, if you are UAE based, and people like in the US. You might have one or two that you know of, but you don't necessarily be sort of have a huge spectrum of all of the industry. So as an example, in the US alone, there are over 2.2 million agents and brokers registered with the National Association of Realtors. Now, that's 2.2 million versus the 6,000 or so within the UAE itself. So you can see the relationship. So that connectivity was missing in terms of the technology. So this is where Realopedia came about. We looked at also developers and agents, and these developers and agents did not have access to global investors. So if you are UAE based, you would know some, but you wouldn't have the whole spectrum of the world. International consumers did not have access to local or even global markets. Again, that goes on two things in terms of the research element of it and the knowledge hub, as well as being able to access certified and qualified real estate professionals. So this is where Realopedia came about. And so what Realopedia is both a B2B and a B2C portal. The B2B allows you to market, increase your market, your network, connectivity all over the world. On Realopedia itself, so you are able to connect on a local and a global basis. Realopedia has got 6 key components within it. So it targets the broker companies and the agents, the developers, the associations, the MLS, the government bodies, corporate affiliates, which are the key components. And then you've got the C element, which is both the investors and the consumers themselves. And what it does is puts all of those under the single umbrella onto a particular marketplace. These are the core elements. Underneath it, you have 6 other elements that allows you to get market knowledge and market information, which is the Knowledge Hub itself, which I will cover this session, the Media Center, the job search function, which is unique to Realopedia itself, the networking forum, and our corporate social responsibility and crowdfunding functions. So what Realopedia brings about all of these components onto a single platform, allowing you to have Realopedia as the go-to portal for everything you need to know about the real estate sector. So whether you are a corporate affiliate like like a bank, or whether you are a corporate affiliate who does security cameras, you need to connect indirectly. You service the real estate sector, so you need to be able to connect with developers and brokers and agents, because everybody needs somehow something to do with the real estate sector. So everything comes under Realopedia itself. Uh, so these, as I said, these are the key components. I will focus a little bit more on the Knowledge Hub. The Knowledge Hub that we have on Realopedia itself, it covers 12 different elements. It covers blogs, which on a monthly basis, we actually do a weekly or a bi-weekly blog that goes out both onto our blog on Realopedia Knowledge Hub, as well as it goes onto our Facebook and social media. So uh, um, we actually plan it to communicate with everybody that is on our databases. We also have a property buyers guide into buying property. We have country statistics. We have crowdfunding news. We have exhibitions, conferences, we have global real estate news, and we have industry research reports. The education and training, we work very much with DREI, where we conduct webinars like this webinar to give you a little bit of information and a bit of education about what's happening in the industry. So hopefully some of you have joined us over the last few webinars that we've had. If not, then you will find the information in our webinars on Realopedia itself. And we also have industry research reports with people like JLL. So we link up to JLL directly. We have their reports on our portal, and all it is that you click on the report itself and it takes you to JLL, and it's what's available in the public domain. So then you're able to get that report directly from JLL. You're able to download it onto your screen. The business blogging forms, we already have a number of blogs on there, so you can actually view those. Buying guides we have for certain countries, and we're growing with other markets. So if you have connections or you have contacts in those markets which are directly, like in the UAE, we work very, very closely with DREI and RERA, so we have a lot of the information from there. For other markets as well, we work with certain associations like in the US and so on. So we will have those on there. So it's exactly how it's happening that you have it on there. We have country statistics, and we look at two different companies that we have. Of course, Internet Live Stats and Numbeo. So that gives you statistical information, what is happening around the world. We have crowdfunding news. So this is something that will be happening at Q4 2017. So at the moment, we just have some basic information on there. We have education and training. As we said, we work with DREI on their courses, and DREI have a course beginning next week, and it's a 2-day course with Harvard University. It's a fantastic course. If you have not yet registered, then we really push you to register. It's a brilliant, brilliant course. They do their master's degree again, which you will see online in the next couple of weeks as well. We also recommend that you register on that, because that can be done from anywhere in your wherever you're sitting at home. And the courses are running in the evening, so it is not taking any of your time during the day when you're working. We also work very closely with the Middle East Shopping Center Association, and we host some of their, or we actually mention some of the courses that they run. We have exhibition and conferences. We are the media partners for MIPIM. MIPIM is one of the largest, if not the biggest, real estate exhibition that takes place annually in the south of France. We are also partners with Cityscape Global, which is the Dubai one that takes place in September. And we don't have an exhaustive list of exhibitions. These would be mainly the ones that we have attended and we recommend. We have global real estate news, and this is something that we have a research team that on a daily basis looks at all of the real estate news around the world, and we post some of the key ones that we feel are relevant on there. So you can find always up-to-date information from around the world on our portal. And now industry research report, which is very, again, Also, as you can see, we have JLL on here. We have the Miami Association of Realtors. We also have Astico, and we are working with a few of the others to actually bring them on board so that you can have a go-to website for everything you need to know. So it's straight from the horse's mouth, and you know that it's reliable and professional industry research reports. We have real estate association directors. So the associations that we have on board at the moment, we have Miami Association of Realtors, we have Acobar, which is in Brazil. We have, and now we will have San Diego as well in the next couple of weeks or so. They will come on board, and we will have a few others. If they have an association directly, you will automatically see it on there. We also have something which is a media center. So this webinar will be uploaded onto our media center, and you'll be able to actually listen to it at your convenience. Everyone that has registered on for this webinar will actually get a link to it, to the webinar. We also have bespoke interviews that we have done, or interviews, for example, people in the industry have done. We can upload those, and this is also allows companies like JLL, or if you are a broker company or a developer, if you depending on the package that you're on, you can actually upload your own audio and video podcasts. You can share interviews on that, so it gives you a platform to be able to communicate as well within the industry. Some very, very quick statistics, and this will then lead on to JLL. In the first quarter of this year, we have had over 250,000, that's 250,000 visitors already to the Realopedia website. Bearing in mind that we launched January 2015-16, so our figures, having reached almost 750,000 in the last 12 months is actually a very, very amazing figure. In our website hits, we've got 29.2 million website hits. Our Facebook reach is 7 million. Our Google ads have acquired 61 million impressions. We've done, with this webinar, we've reached over 80 webinars so far that we've done. Our website actually is in 28 different languages. It's not just a listing website, it allows you to communicate and to reach to all people within the industry itself. We have a CSR charity where we call it Realopedia Kids in Need, and what it is that every year we donate a certain percentage of the paid membership goes to charity. We have done one already, which is with Dubai Cares, and that was to help construct a school in Nepal, where we donated the money to them, and we've got pictures if people want to see those pictures. Very quickly, our global partners are DREI, where we host webinars with them, and we support them, and we work with their rules and regulations department as well. We are the global marketing partners for Miami Association of Realtors. We also have a monthly talk show with Radio Imo in France, and this covers, Radio Imo is the leading real estate radio show that covers Europe, parts of North Africa, and North America. And the talk show is done in both French and English. And actually, the recording for the April one is being done this afternoon. And you can hear the podcast of it on Realopedia itself. It will be uploaded within the next 10 days as soon as the talk show has gone live. We are the official media partners for MIPIM. And you can follow us on social media, on all of the Facebook, Pinterest, etc., etc. Okay, so what we do is we bring local to global, from Dubai to the world. Right. Okay. Now, I will very quickly, I would like to introduce to you Asma Dakak. She is the research manager at JLL. She has been in the UAE for the last 3.5 years, but her background, she's worked for 4 or 5 years in Saudi Arabia. So she has extensive experience in research, and she will be taking you through the Dubai market, the latest reports that they have issued. Over to you, Asma.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Asma Dakak, and I am the research manager at JLL. Just for you people that are not maybe particularly familiar with JLL, we're a world-leading real estate investment and advisory firm. Our presence in the region covers a lot of the MENA markets. So we look at the UAE, we look at Saudi and Egypt as well. So we have in-depth knowledge and on-the-ground knowledge of all of these markets. Specifically in terms of the cities, we look at Dubai, we look at Abu Dhabi, Jeddah, Riyadh, Mecca, the Dammam metropolitan area, and Cairo. We have a number of departments which carry different services, ranging from our consulting team to valuations to our office leasing team, our retail team, investment transactions, and then I myself am in research, which ties the pieces of puzzle together. What we do at research, we educate the market in terms of supply and performance in all the different or the traditional real estate asset classes, from offices to retail to hospitality and residential as well. In today's presentation, I'll just take you through overall what we've seen during the first quarter of 2017 in terms of the market as a whole. And then I will go through the different sectors of the market and discuss what has happened during the first quarter. So in terms of the macroeconomic overview, just before I start, Dubai in terms of population, currently the population stands at about 2.6 million people. And as you can see maybe on the screen, we are forecasting this to grow to about 2.8 million by 2019. Our estimates are based on data from Oxford Economics, so third-party data. In terms of where we see the growth of GDP, we see it growing from about 2.2% to 3.2% by 2019. In terms, just digging more closely into real estate and what has happened in the real estate domain over the first quarter of 2017, we see that the first quarter in general has highlighted a softening, particularly in the hotel and real estate sectors of the market. There has been very little change in terms of the office and the residential sectors, but we see some signs of encouragement in both the residential sector, given that it's currently at the bottom of its property cycle. So in our latest market report, which we issued for the Dubai market, we saw that Emirates NBD announced their new REIT, being a real estate investment trust, and that was listed on the Nasdaq Dubai exchange in the first quarter. We believe that given that Emirates NBD is considered one of the largest lenders in the market, the launch of its REIT will aim to improve liquidity and transparency in the market. And we believe that more REITs will follow suit in the market in this year and the years to follow. Just briefly, before we go into details, in the office sectors, vacancies currently stand at about 14%, and this continues to highlight the strength and the demand for high quality or smart buildings. On a JLL global level, we've looked at the impact of technology and organizational change, and we recognize that this is going to increasingly become a very important phenomena in the years to follow. So our JLL global piece is titled Workspace Reworked, and we've identified in this report how these changes will impact the occupiers, the developers, the investors, and trying to reevaluate this approach and what impact it will have on the real estate office market in particular. Although on a MENA level, we recognize that we are maybe not at the moment at the forefront of all this revolution that is happening, we do believe that especially in Dubai, the real estate market will implement such changes in the years to come. The Dubai real estate market is considered one of the most transparent market when compared to its regional peers, and a lot of indications in the market are supporting this. The REITs that are entering the market is already showing that there are signs of a changing environment, a more mature environment. This is our JLL property clock. So this indicates where the different sectors of the real estate market are currently positioned when we're talking about rents specifically. So in terms of where we stand in Q1 2017, we believe that both the office and the residential sectors are at the bottom of their property cycles. So this would suggest that rents are bottoming out in those two sectors, whereas in the retail and the hospitality domain, there remains room for rents to further decline. Now I'll just take you through the different sectors of the market, just looking at the supply and performance indicators. So to start off with, we'll look at the office market. In terms of supply, during Q1 2017, the Greens area in Dubai dominated a lot of the new supply. So we had the delivery of 2 towers in the Greens, and they added about 66,000 square meters of GLA. And the reason why this is important to mention that the last time an office building was completed in this area was in 2006. In terms of the pipeline for the remainder of the year, it still remains relatively active. So we are expecting about 235,000 SQM of GLA to enter the market in the remainder of 2017. JLT, as indicative from our Q1 report, is going to contribute to the largest share of these completions, and it is expected to add about 60,000 square meters of GLA during the second quarter of 2017. In terms of performance and where office performance currently stands, we haven't seen much change in the sector. So rents on an average, and when we look at the average, we are focusing more on the central business district, what we call CBD. So rents have remained relatively flat over the last number of quarters. But I would point out that a general trend, or a very exciting trend that's happening, is that there are a lot of tenants which are looking to consolidate. So this is a theme which we've seen start last year, and we will continue to see this theme roll over to 2000 and the remainder of 2017. The buildings in the CBD or the DIFC, which we regard as grade A office stock, continue to outperform their peers in grade B and C office locations. So they are going to continue benefiting from high quality office stock, which is available in the market. So in terms of our outlook and where we see the 12-month outlook for the different indicators of the office market, in terms of the office stock, we will see more additions or more supply coming into the market. In terms of grade A rentals, we continue to see that this will remain flat, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, moving on to the residential market, which is a market that could impact a lot of us, even on a personal level in Dubai. The first quarter, in terms of supply, saw the delivery of about 1,500 units, and they were a mix between apartments and townhouses. A lot of this completion was in Akoya during the first quarter. Apartments, in terms of completion, they comprised about 60% of total completions, while the villa completion was about 24% and townhouses about 15%. In terms for the remainder of the year of 2017, we expect an additional 28,000 units to are currently under construction. However, it's important to note that we assume a 50% materialization rate. So of the 28,000 units which are currently under construction, we believe that only about 15,000 will be delivered by the end of the year. And this is broadly in line with the trends that we have seen in previous years. In terms of where these under construction future supply currently stands, about 27% of it is going to be in Dubai land, and this will take the mass of the pie when it comes to future supply. So this is an upcoming area, which will see a lot of residential completions in the foreseeable future. In terms of residential sale performance, and this would look at villas and apartments separately, on a year-on-year basis, we see that average rents for villas declined by about 7.9%, while for apartments, they declined by about 3%. However, on a quarterly basis, for both these segments, villas and apartments, there has not been any change. So performance was relatively flat. This could suggest that the market is at the bottom of its cycle. And the key question, obviously, that arises from here is when will we see some pickup in prices? We believe that given Dubai is a very open economy and it's impacted by a lot of the economic factors on a regional and global level, we believe that the current economic slowdown will dictate the pickup in performance. So we do not expect to see any pickup before the end of 2017. In terms of just the 12-month outlook again for this sector, like I said, we are expecting more additions to the market in terms of supply. We believe that rents for now, in terms of villas and apartments, will remain relatively stable in the next 12 months before they start picking up again. Moving on to the retail market, and we believe that this is one segment of the market that is currently under pressure. In terms of supply, there were no new additions to come into the market during Q1 2017, with the current retail stock remaining at about 3.4 million square meters. However, we are expecting about 200,000 SQM to be delivered in the remainder of 2017. And by 2020, we expect the retail stock to increase by about 20%. In terms of the projects which are currently under construction, in terms of their profiling, 70% of it is within the super regional category, and a very few, less than 5%, is within the neighborhood community in terms of the Dubai retail supply. In terms of performance, anecdotally, from speaking to a lot of retailers on the ground, we understand that retail sales have been immensely under pressure over the last few quarters. However, our data suggests that the average retail rents have remained flat. The reason behind this is that a lot of tenants, or a lot of retail tenants, are on long-term contracts, and the bargaining power at present is in the hands of the tenants as opposed to the mall owners at the current state and at the current picture. So we believe that there is a lot of incentives for retailers to negotiate the pricing in which they pay in these retail outlets. Having said that, a trend which we are also seeing in the retail market is the diversification of retail offerings. So we believe that the food and beverage industry will grow to become a very important aspect in the Dubai retail market. A key project which we are seeing complete during the last few quarters are the last exit food trucks, and there's about 10 of them in total which will enter the market once they're all complete. The second one was open during the first quarter of 2017, and we believe that more will open in the next few quarters. Again, in terms of the 12-month outlook, in terms of supply, we see more supply entering the market, although we have not seen any completions in the first quarter. In terms of retail rents in primary malls, we expect them to remain flat, and that's particularly because these primary malls, such as Dubai Mall or Mall of Emirates, the footfall in these malls is still very high because of the additional entertainment and facilities which they offer. So people will continue to want to be present there. However, in the more secondary locations and tertiary locations, we believe that retail rents could start to see a decline in the next 12 months. Moving on to the hotel segment, and we believe this is maybe the best performing sector currently in the Dubai real estate market. In terms of supply, there were about 1,100 keys which entered the market in the first quarter of 2017, with another 11,900 keys to enter the market by the end of 2017. In terms of the supply, we believe that Dubai continues to focus on the premium or the luxury segment of the market, although we are starting to see some diversification in the product mix. However, it's still largely concentrated towards higher tier market offerings. Some of the future completions which we will expect in the remainder of this year will include the renovation of the address downtown, which will add 196 rooms and 625 branded residential units, as well as the Viceroy on the Palm, which is expected to add about 477 rooms. In terms of performance, we look at two categories here. We look at occupancy and we look at average daily rates or ADRs. So occupancy in the Dubai hotel industry in general is very, very strong. The first quarter is recognized especially strong because of the Dubai Shopping Festival as well as pleasant weather conditions. So we normally average occupancy rates at about 85, 86%, which on a global level is extremely high. However, ADRs have declined slightly on a year-to-year basis by about 5%. From speaking to a lot of the hotel operators currently in Dubai, they want to keep their occupancy levels at high levels, even if it means that their ADRs or their average daily rates will shrink a little. But however, having said that, even with a slight decline in ADRs, we continue to believe that the hotel sector in general in Dubai remains to be very strong. In terms of the 12-month outlook, again, in terms of supply, we expect more rooms to enter the market. And in terms of occupancy, we expect levels to remain high. For a year average, we would expect about 70-75%. ADRs, we continue to believe there will be slight softening on the ADR front. This is it from my side. I welcome any questions that you guys may have for any of the different segments of the market, and I'll hand it over.
I have a question for you. For the hotels, where do you get the information on the number of occupancy?
Yes. So we have a JLL hotel team, and they collect this information from a third-party portal, which is called STR. So this portal provides all the hotel information in terms of supply and in terms of performance.
Thank you. Okay. We have a couple of questions. Okay. I have a trade license to buy, sell properties from DMCC. And I have some properties in Dubai Free Zone. So can I advertise to sell or rent my properties in websites, or need to take permits from RERA? You need to have a permit from RERA, and to be able to advertise your properties in the UAE, you need to also have each advertising needs to have a license which is issued by RERA before it is allowed onto any website. Okay. You can't. Okay. We've got one person who's asking a question. Can they need to test the microphone? No. We actually, if you type your questions in, it's much better, because then that way we can actually see your question coming up. Any other questions? Okay, what I'll do is I'll just continue with it, and if you have questions, then please feel free to ask us. Okay, what we will be doing is at the end of today, we will download this, and then we will send you a link, which will be sometime toward the end of next week, that we will send you a link to today's webinar, and then you will find that webinar also on Realopedia itself, and also on the DREI website as well. They will have a link that they will send out as well. So if you don't have any questions, I will just inform you that the next webinar will be in May, and please watch out in the email for our invitation. I'd like to thank very, very much DREI for their support and for helping us to put these webinars together, and for us working very much with them. It's absolutely amazing. And I'd like to also thank JLL and Asma for her time today in being on the webinar. And if you have any questions after the webinar, then please feel free to email us. You can email us on contact@realopedia.com, or I will type my email address. My name is paul.jibara@realopedia.com. So please feel free to email me and with any questions that you have, and we will try and address all those questions for you, or put you in contact with the relevant person. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Okay, all right, no more questions. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.